The following is a 45 TV sports presentation brought to you in high definition. TV. The stage is bigger. The lights are brighter. The atmosphere, electric. But it's not about the perfect shot or the roar of the crowd. It's about playing the game you love. It's about giving everything you have for a chance to go down in history.
To Elamine to win it. Yes! Knocked free. This game is going to end. Oh! It got thrown in from the corner. It's good. Here's Amir Coffey from a long way. Got it!
This is basketball.
And away we go.
This is 45 TV.
Put your hands up, put your hands up, come on, put your hands up.
All alone on that side, and he'll take advantage of that run to the baseline. Look at that thing. Wow. Arching reverse. Meyer pops a three, and he got it again.
No tomorrow. There is only today.
Championship Saturday here at Target Center on 45 TV. Some of the traditional powers are back. We'll see Graham, De La Salle, Lakeville North, Hopkins, and relative newcomers, including Jackson County Central and Fergus Falls. We started with the Class A championship. Minneapolis North trying to return to glory, taking on a Goodhue team searching for their first ever state championship. Thanks for tuning in here, everybody, on 45 TV. I'm Chris Long, along with Leah B. Olson and Trent Tucker. Leah, this is a Goodhue team. They weren't even ranked in the top 20 at the end of the regular season, but here they are playing for a title. Tell us about them.
Yeah, they've been playing great basketball. And here's the thing about them. They have to take care of the basketball here today. North is going to look to turn them over. They have to control the pace, get them in a half court, slow it up, and hopefully it's a low-scoring game for them.
Minneapolis North already played for a state championship in football. Trent, they're back again for basketball. It is a return to glory for the Polars.
Yes, it is. And everyone at North High School right now is very proud of this basketball team and the leadership that's behind this basketball team. It's a team that has to play fast, pressure defense, force turnovers, and get out and run, and run.
North has run over the competition most of this year, especially in this state tournament. They handled St. Clair and Red Lake in their path to the finals. Goodhue knocked off Lake Park, Audubon, and Central Minnesota Christian. It's the Polars and the Wildcats for the first of our 4 championships here on 45 TV. We'll tip it off after this.
The pregame show is brought to you by Greater Twin Cities Honda. Life is better in a Honda. View aggressive lease and finance offers at GreaterTwinCitiesHondaDealers.com. Good afternoon from the Target Center as we get ready for Game 1, the state title on the line at Class A. Much talked about Minneapolis North and Goodhue. It's a contrast to styles, Kevin, because here today we have Minneapolis North pops up 85 a game. We have Goodhue only gives up 42 a game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. This is definitely a contrast, no doubt about it. North is going to want to run and turn you over. Leah and Trent just got done talking about it. And Jamil Jackson Jr. is going to be really important, 6'6" senior. He's an athlete, one of the best athletes in the state of Minnesota, loves to play above the rim. Certainly has got some college potential at the next level, no doubt. Now, the other player here for Goodhue, Dave, Jacob McNamara, 6'3", 250-pound junior. He's had a good tournament up to this point. He's not a bad outside shooter. That's one thing. Now, the inside game is going to be even more important for him this morning. He's got to slow that game down and be a presence inside.
Today's Players to Watch brought to you by Education Minnesota, the voice for professional educators and students.
Let's meet the championship contenders with PA announcer Jim Burns.
Fans, good morning. The Minnesota State High School League and the City of Minneapolis welcome you to the Target Center for continuing play in the 104th Minnesota Boys State Basketball Championship Tournament. It's Championship Saturday, and our upcoming matchup comes your way in Class A, featuring the champions of Section 4 with a record of 28-5, the Minneapolis North Community High School Polars. And the champions of Section 1 with a record of 24-9, the Goodhue Wildcats. And now let's meet today's starting lineups. For the Polars, starting at a forward, a 6'6" senior, number 12, Jameel Jackson Jr. For Goodhue, starting at a guard, a 6'1" junior, number 33, Ben Upsall. For the Polars, starting at a guard, a 6'4" junior, number 35, Isaac Johnson. For the Wildcats, starting at a forward, a 6'2" senior, number 45, Calvin Peterson. For the Polars, starting at center, a 6'6" sophomore, number 32, Odell Wilson IV. For the Wildcats, starting at a center, a 6'3" junior, number 55, Jacob McNamara. For the Polars, starting at guard, a 6'2" senior, number 10, Tyler Johnson. For the Wildcats, starting at guard, a 5'7" junior, number 3, Taylor Buck. And for the Polars, starting at guard, a 6'3" senior, number 13, Pat Dembley. And for the Wildcats at a guard, a 5'11" senior, number 11, Jacob Punch. For Minneapolis North, the assistant coaches are George Ellis and Trent Witz. The head coach of the Polars is Larry McKenzie. And for the Wildcats, the assistant coaches are Mark Upsall and Robbie Ebner. The head coach of Goodhue is Matt Halverson. Our officials for this championship matchup are Tony Day of Hanover, Aaron Lennis of Boston, and James Reed of Marshall. And now, fans, we ask that you please rise. Please remove your hats as we honor America. Joining us this morning, New Prague High School senior Jacqueline Slavin Pickens leads us in honoring America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, nice job, Jacqueline, man. Good start to the tournament today. We're going to check out our starting lineup. Speaking of starting, and they're brought to you by Mills House. Try it out at the house.
Well, you get a look at the starters in this ball game. This is it's going to be really, really important for Goodhue, Dave, to not get you know, in a big hole right off the bat. You know, North is going to come out. They're going to press. They're going to pressure. They're going to try to create some turnovers and jump on this team right away. Now, if Goodhue can slow North down a little bit, hopefully they can hang around and be a threat here at the end of the game. But in a lot of ways, Minneapolis North has got some significant advantages, but Goodhue's going to give it a great shot, as they should.
Polars begin this championship game with the ball, and as usual, right at the hoop and right in the hands of Odell Wilson IV to start this game.
Yeah, just like yesterday, easy layup. They ran a play off that jump ball in the semis yesterday. North did. They got a hoop within about 4 seconds.
Was that a nice drive by Ben Upsall? The lefty took it up and drew the foul. And he got hurt afterwards. You could see him, the teammates helping him up a little bit, head down.
Well, once again, allowing the lefty to go left, and there's no question a lot of contact on that play by Johnson, Tyler Johnson. That's a tough finish. Kind of sandwiched between two North Polars, and Upsall able to convert.
Dad, an assistant coach on the Goodhue squad. Goodhue grad himself, as a matter of fact. Here comes North. Tyler Johnson, cross court, streaming to the basket.
Not just a great unselfish pass there by Tyler Johnson, and he's this team's leader for Minneapolis North. The rest of the kids kind of look to him, and they rally around his leadership, no question.
Series of quick passes, a rejection. Johnson's going to end up with it. Here comes Tyler in a foot race. One-on-one, it's a good one, too. Will the bucket count, or did the foul occur higher out near that free throw line? It will count.
Well, obviously for the North, they've got to create turnovers.
And these are your keys to the game, brought to you by Greater Twin Cities Honda. K-Man.
Yep. Great turnovers, attack the basket as much as possible for the Wildcats. You got to keep those turnovers down, keep it under 20 if possible. And like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, get off to a good start. It's going to really be hard to get in this game if you get down 10, 15, 20 points quickly. And you got to expend all that gas just to get back into a game, and North is just going to be relentless.
There's that pressure. They'll apply it the whole time. Well, Larry must have those guys in good shape. They are up and down that court a lot, defensively as well as offensively. Jacob McNamara had a nice game yesterday for the Wildcats of Goodhue. About 63 miles south of town here, actually kind of a little bit south-east. A little close to Red Wing. There's McNamara. That's the way he started the game yesterday with the three. That time didn't have it down court in a hurry, and that's that fast break. And it's so effective. A quick timeout called. Isaac Johnson going up with the basket, and a wise timeout by the young guy, Matt Halverson. Matt's interesting story. He played for, and a style of, we talked yesterday a lot about this, Kevin. They score about 50 points a game. Not much, nobody even averages in double figures, but he really is a student of the game, and that's because of his mentor, Tom Vicks, down at Rushford Peterson, who he played for, and then in college, apparently he was going to Winona State. He came back and helped coach.
Take a couple looks at how North play. You know, a lot of people talk about the North offense and how explosive and how much they like to run, how athletic. But so much of it comes from, you know, points off turnovers, and they play such good, aggressive defense. They speed you up, and they force you to play. They make you play at a pace that's too quick. And then you start to make mistakes, and they are all over you. When you cough the ball up, you got 5 guys charging down the floor, and that's just going to be the story of this ball game. How can Goodhue handle the North defensive pressure? And if they can't, it's going to be a long, long game here.
This is Taylor Buck, guarded by Tyler Johnson. Tyler going to the University of Minnesota next year to play football for Tracy players. Might want to think about playing basketball at the same time.
Yeah. Well, he's getting looked at by, he could have played college basketball too. He had some offers, but chose to go the football route. Typically, it's, you know, if you get a basketball scholarship, a lot of guys, high school kids, they want to go that route instead of the gridiron. But this kid could be successful at either one.
He might want to play both.
Yeah, you're right.
Series of passes. Buck in the corner, in and out.
Got to make that shot. We're going to hang in this game.
Oh, look at how fast down the court they are. Just a power move to the basket. Now that's a nice little battle down there. That's Odell Wilson the fourth and Jacob McNamara. I mean, physically they'll probably match up pretty doggone well, so it'll be fun to watch them down low. You just saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, Wilson the fourth didn't get a whole lot of touches yesterday, but they're going to go to him early on here.
North basketball.
Big strong kid, 6'7", sophomore, likes to throw his weight around. Play physical.
Dembley, who played a nice game yesterday, will inbound the ball. That's him right on the baseline.
Looks like his knee is okay. Remember yesterday kind of dinged up his knee a little bit and kind of in and out of the lineup after he got that injury, but looks okay right now.
Yeah, he was on the court for a while, so glad to see him back today. Yep. State championship, who's going to tell you you're not going to play, you know? Yeah, off the glass. Odell Wilson, the fourth, got 4 points. Upsall's going to look at a trap here in a second.
Yep.
Pays off. Dembley, no-look pass. And then the block and foul on Upsall of Goodhue.
Well, this is a pretty daunting task, obviously, for Mount Helverson. But their kids are going to play hard. I guarantee you that. They might lose this ball game, they might win it, but they're going to put forth a good effort. There's a ton on the line here. Obviously, a state championship.
Johnson, Isaac, 10 points in the quarters, 13 points yesterday. He's off to a 3-point start. How about Larry McKenzie's squad over with the bow ties? It's a good look today.
I like it.
The whole staff.
Looking snappy.
Yeah. This is Buck. Taylor Buck, 5'7" junior against Tyler Johnson, the 6'3" senior.
Nice job breaking the press.
McNamara looking down low. You got to be careful you hold that ball because North will come right at you from behind as well. Buck to Upsall. And they'll reset it up. Now, this is their offense. Goodhue, if they can play their offense, you won't see a ton of points up. It's just a complete different style that these two teams play. So mentioned, North, everybody averages double figures. At Goodhue, nobody does. This is McNamara going to power his way. Too much on the shot. And here comes North. Look at him run. There's the alley-oop to Johnson!
We're going to take a look at that. I think Tyler Johnson completely jumped over Taylor Buck there for Goodhue. I mean, this is a big part of what North does, and it gets them jacked up too. Start alley-ooping and dunking in transition. They get fired up.
Look at that North crowd on their feet still. Whole place is talking about it.
Well, this is what the Wildcats have to do. They got to work that clock, Dave. Pass it around, don't turn it over. Try to get that North defense out of position.
Dembley threw that beautifully too, by the way. Takes two to tango on that play right there. Woo!
The first half is brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit ChevyDealers.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Target Center, where Coach McKenzie says he has a special squad this season. He says over the last three years, his team has really come together both on the court and in the classroom. 9 of his 12 players on his roster are on the A and B honor rolls at Minneapolis North, and that's important to Coach because he says he doesn't want to coach athletes, he wants to coach student athletes. In fact, in his 16 years of coaching, he says every player to ever come through his program has gone on to a 2- or 4-year college. Checking on grades weekly and keeping tabs on his players, Coach says playing hoops is a right that is earned, not a privilege.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Allie, I'm anxious to see where players like Jamil Jackson Jr. end up. I know he's got colleges looking at him right now. I don't know which one he's going to pick, but they're going to get a heck of a player, I'll tell you that, whoever finally makes that call and where he decides to go. They've got, they're going to move on and play somewhere. I mean, these.
Well, you talk about being a student seriously. I mean, basketball is temporary, you know. You play college hoops, maybe somebody plays here or there, might play some professional basketball, but even if you do that, you got to move on in life, and you have your whole life in front of you. So basketball is temporary, but in education, that goes for a lifetime.
Push. And it's on Goodhue on the missed shot. So Calvin Peterson picks up the foul.
You know, once I was done playing, Dave, I was 31 years old after I was done playing in Europe. And first thing I did is I went back to school, finished my degree at the U of M, history degree. I have a history major. And it was interesting. Once I was in my 30s going back to school, how much more serious I took learning and you know, playing basketball for all those years kind of blurred my vision as far as how important it was to be a student and to learn, and how important it is to be curious and to learn. And it was, I became a good student at the very end. It was good.
Well, I imagine it's challenging because you're a bit of a pedestal when you're a star athlete, and I'm sure you can easily lose focus. Closed caption brought to you by Touchstone Energy. Together, we save.
Plus, you know, you kind of find yourself in the world of professional basketball, and it's about money, it's about traveling, and so you're so focused, and everything else kind of is secondary. But then you kind of grow out of that stage of playing a sport, whether it's basketball or some other sport, and you learn that, wow, there's a lot more to this world than just the basketball world. And when you realize that as a professional athlete, that's a good thing, that's a healthy thing, that's normal.
That will stay in the hands of Goodhue, because that is a possession. When that happens, the ball sticks like that. And so the possession arrow is pointing to Goodhue, and they will keep the basketball. Just in case you're wondering about that. Ben Upsall now, his team down 15-2 here to start this game. He got a layup a few moments ago, and since then just absolutely nothing, not even shots hardly. There's McNamara, and he can't make it fly.
Even though he's missed a couple shots inside, Dave, they got to keep going to him, because I think his game kind of represents the slowing down nature of getting it inside to the low post. And he's a big, strong kid. He can score in there against the North players, even though they're a little bit taller and athletic. I think he's good enough to be a factor in this game.
Well, that's a double team. It's a tough place to stop, but they get out of it. Now you got a 2-on-1 break. There's McNamara back to Upsall, and he uses the right hand. And he's got it, but look at North right down. There's a block. Here comes a call of a jump ball, and that's North ball. Ranked #1 most of the season. Hard to believe, but when their enrollment went below 100 students about 6 or 7 years ago, there was some talk about maybe closing the school. And it's nice to see them rising here and doing well. It's a program with 5 state titles, 19 times in the state tournament, so it's a great legacy.
Yeah, Larry McKenzie, I talked to him a little bit yesterday, and he was talking about how important that is to keep the school open, and it's great for the community. And let's face it, the state of Minnesota, boys basketball, or any sports, it's important that the city's schools, whether it's St. Paul or Minneapolis, is strong. And for North to be a good football program now, good basketball program again, that's good for everybody.
That's a nice shot by Posh over the outstretched arms of the defender. But this is the thing about North, down in a hurry, but stolen by Kylo. And Sammy has his team with a little renewed vigor right here, and then down to the floor, and a pass of desperation in front of the bench, and another one.
Make your rush, make your hurry.
Boy, 3 in a row bad passes there for the Wildcats. Results in a fast break and a big-time dunk by the guy we were just talking about, Jamil Jackson Jr.
Boy, he's a nice-looking player. Yeah. He's an athlete, and he had a dunk in transition yesterday. That was spectacular, one-handed. Jack coming from the right side, beautiful.
Ball on Jaquan Sanders. Look at this again. This is Triple J going at it. The most comprehensive prep sports show in the market. Minnesota Prep Spotlight, Sunday nights at 9:30 right here on 45 TV.
Oh, that's impressive. Transition dunk by Jackson Jr. Wow, that was spectacular. But, you know, if you're Goodhue in this game, you come into the game, you got to come with the mentality of they're going to get some dunks, they're going to alley-oop, they're going to get excited, but let's just try to stay even keel as much as possible, because if you get all wound up about North running and dunking, then you kind of lose focus of the goal here. So they just have to kind of try to stay the course, try to keep it as close as possible. And they've kind of withstood a little bit of that North run here early on, but they can't let this North lead to explode to 20 or 30 quickly and game over.
Kylo feeds it off to the corner, and again, Posh got the quick release off before the defender got there. 7-point game now.
Move the ball, be patient, and knock in open shots. A little zone action here. Different look for Minneapolis North.
Sanders' drive going to be short. Quick follow, and then a foul. And who's it on? It's an offensive foul. Jackson trying to follow up that rebound. And he will pick up the personal. It was a good shot of Coach McKenzie. Not so happy with that. Wisconsin River Falls graduate. 16 years, 339 wins overall. At North, he has 71 of those, as you saw in the graphic to start this Hoops Championship tilt. Here comes Goodhue with the basketball. This is Upsall off of the pick from McNamara. Buck now had a chance to move it in and pop it. Keeps it going, but this is the nature of Goodhue's offense. This is a very deliberate, methodical offense that averages about 50 points a game against a team that averages about 85 plus. Well, that's a tough pass. Threw right at his knees.
Twice.
And then down toward the end. Yeah. Little.
Yeah, again, Upsall is a little bit rushed. He's getting hounded in front of him, so he's got a defender to kind of contend with. Just poor passes hitting the shins of Jacob McNamara in the post. And not good spacing either. He's got to get a little further away from his teammate McNamara, and then he can use that bounce pass, but too close. Not good spacing on that entry pass twice.
And it's back to what you talked about. North plays good defense. We just don't talk about it that often.
Yeah, we talk about the dunks, the alley-oops, and all that stuff is fun to watch, and it's explosive, but at the same time, so much of it stems from North's defense, which is terrific.
Odell Wilson, a fourth on a great pass from Pat Demley, the senior, and now you have a 19-10 game in favor of the Polars of Minneapolis North, about 2 miles, maybe not even that much from the Target Center here. Take you about 5 to 10 minutes maybe. There's McNamara bustling his way in. Big Jake, who had a great first half yesterday for these same Wildcats, 19-12.
I know he took a number of threes, Dave, yesterday. I can't imagine he's going to be spending a lot of time taking outside jump shots in this game. They need him on that low block, getting it done, just like that last possession.
Buck will set the offense. Sam Kylo getting some early time here today. Posh, they're not going to give him that shot for a third time, so they'll get it back out the top. Upsall fakes the left, goes to the right. That's Kylo out there. And then off of the foot of Tyler Johnson. Tyler, quite a career, 3-time MVP in the Minneapolis City Conference, 3 times in football and basketball.
Think of that.
I don't know the records, Kevin, but I would bet in the rich history of that city conference, I don't know if anybody's ever done that before.
That might be unprecedented. He's just a terrific athlete, a good leader, good student. I think that football program at the U is going to be very happy with Tyler Johnson.
8:21 to go in this first half. Goodhue Wildcats under Matt Halverson's guidance with the basketball. Upsall, they're going to gather around him.
Got to be some backdoor cuts. There's too much standing at times. Now I get that this is part of their offense, and there's no problem with passing around the perimeter, but at some point there's got to be some body movement going towards the basket, even if you don't catch the ball and convert.
Upsall, good strong move, and draws a foul on it. Isaac Johnson will pick up the personal. Well, they're very patient, Kevin. We saw that they've done that all year. They're not going to be in a hurry.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they kind of run a little bit of a weave out front in their man offense. And they're patient, and they pass the ball quite a bit and work that clock. At the same time, you're going to relieve pressure if within that offense, Dave, you have some cutters that go back door, especially since North is denying the wing. They're trying to pressure, but you got to get some sort of offensive thrust towards the basket, if only just to relieve the pressure just a little bit.
Upsall gets the first on the back end of the 2, and the Southpaws got it. And it's a 5-point game now all of a sudden. Minneapolis North with the basketball.
Back to the zone, yeah.
Tyler Johnson will back it up a little bit and spread it out.
See, the problem with the zone defense is if North starts banging in some threes, then it could be a big problem here. But so far, just trying to slow him down a little bit, give him a different look.
Sanders ejected by McNamara. Good follow, though, and then a foul right there as Taylor Johnson got the block shot and went right up with it. So after a great defensive play, the foul was called on Jacob McNamara. That's his second. Well, in a game like this, he's going to have to be in there the entire game, I would think.
That was close. I mean, that almost looked like pretty good defense. Big Mac kind of just walled up a little bit, hands straight up. Looked like he got a good chunk of the basketball, too.
Taylor Johnson averages 5 points a game, and Larry McKenzie will keep everybody as fresh as he can. There's Jaquan Sanders going out. He'll get a ton of time being in and out of the game. And at the line, Taylor Johnson, you see a lot of this sophomore trying to connect on this free throw to making a 6-point spread. He does that. And another substitution. Goodhue on a 12-5 run over the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Kevin.
Hanging around, that's what I think they want to do. And at times here in the first half, they've slowed the game down. I think that's typically how they play. It's one thing if you come into a game as a running team and then you can't change that style and play against North. A lot of those teams get blown out, but this team is used to playing that more deliberate style, like you mentioned, Dave. And so this is kind of how they typically play.
Buck. This is Posh. He's hit a couple of threes here. Get him back in the game. In fact, they were crucial to get him back in the game. McNamara. And that ball's going to be tipped out of bounds by the fast hands of. But see, look at that. That's what Johnson does. He knocks the ball loose, and the next thing you know, he's trying to get it from going out of bounds. They never give up. 6-point difference. The Fan Cam is brought to you by 45 TV. 11 in the morning for this early game this year. Next one will be at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Inbound ball by Upshaw of Goodhue. 20-14, North with the lead. In the last 3 games, Kevin, North has come out to 2 13-2 leads and then a 15-2 lead, so they start fast. Sam McNamara on the left side is open just in time. One thing they're learning, quick release is going to work a lot better out here than lining that shot up.
Yeah, well, you want to be quick, but you don't want to hurry. That's what John Wooden used to say, be quick, but don't hurry.
That's going to be a 3-point effort right there by. How about Odell Wilson, the 4th start? He's got 8. Now he's at the line to make this one a 3, perhaps.
Had 12 points, 7 rebounds in the quarterfinals. Had 2 points, 3 rebounds yesterday. And the big fella getting her done inside around the basket. That's his game. Big, strong sophomore, 6'7", like we mentioned. A lefty. He's got some game. I like him.
23-16, the Polars. Wildcats with the basketball. This is Buck guarded by Johnson.
Plus, it's so easy if you're Wilson the 4th. You got good, unselfish guards to get you the ball where you can succeed. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. Just get yourself in position, get spoon-fed by your teammates, and finish.
Posh, he's lining up another 3. That's 3 consecutive trays for Jake Posh, the starting quarterback from that state tournament team.
Got a 4-point game here, Dave. This has been a combination of Goodhue switching defenses, slowing North down just a little bit, and not turning it over on offense and executing, hitting some shots, hitting a 3, getting the ball inside a little bit.
Big Mac with the steal. Upshaw, a runner on the baseline, just hanging. Rebound, there's a battle, good battle for it. McNamara clutches it at the end. Buck almost went for it, now we'll work it back out. Goodhue rarely will go to that basket in a hurry. That's right up there with the old blue moon and lunar eclipses. You don't see a ton of them. They will go for it once in a while, Kevin, but it is a rare sighting.
Oh, he rolled his ankle, looked like.
He's getting up slow, too. Upsall's alone for a moment and then blocked against the glass by Jackson. Upsall trying to follow, and now McNamara hauls it down. Boy, the Wildcats sticking with it. Here's Buck knocked out of his hands by Johnson, and it's going to be Goodhue's basketball. Jamil Jackson Jr. can jump out of the gym. Man.
And he gets up quickly, too. Not only can he jump and get high, he gets up so quickly, and he caught it. That was a good no call. That was a clean block. He got it right before the basketball was going to hit that backboard. Perfect timing.
Goodhue with the basketball. Down by 4 points with 4:39 to go in this first half. Posh. Kylo. And just kind of work it around the perimeter a little bit. Ryan Elpers is coming to the game for Goodhue. He wears number 21.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want to do. You know, force North to stay in defensive mentality for a number of seconds and then try to attack when you get an opening. Done a nice job so far.
Well, they got Peterson and McNamara both on the bench right now. They're two big guys, so I'm sure they're thinking we can stay close without our beef down low. They're not allowing North to get that double team. McNamara, good fake, no shot, good cover by Jackson. Back out to the top. North fans applauding the Polar defense. Underneath, look at this, Buck all by himself.
Wow, what a possession that was. Really by both teams, Dave, that was terrific.
Smallest guy on the court scores in the paint.
Well, then Buck makes that backdoor cut, and he's wide open. Like I said, that backdoor cut action, there's going to be some opportunities there.
Wilson, the fourth, is having a marvelous game, but now he'll be called for a charge. Hey, tournament fans, log on now to prep45.com to order this or any of your favorite games. Make the memories of your favorite athlete last a lifetime with your own DVD copy of the Minnesota State High School Tournaments presented by Grand Stadium. That's Jackson County Central with their win last night. They kind of got this thing going like nobody expected us to be here, and so they're using that chip by the old shoulder, and it was working well for them in the tournament.
Yeah, that's right. On the 6'9" Bodie Behrens is really starting to come on for them, and they're going to need his production against a very tough Graham team.
It's been 2.5 minutes since Minneapolis North has scored a field goal, if you can believe that. There's an errant pass by Elpers, but it's knocked out of bounds by Tyler Johnson. So right back into the hands. There's Matt Halverson, the architect of this offense out there. McNamara blocked by Jackson. Jackson is just a good-looking basketball player. Here comes Johnson. Look at that cross-hand dribble and hanging in the air. Can't get it, but the rebound underneath. And a good power move by Isaac Johnson. 4-point lead, under 3 minutes to go. We are in half number one here at the Target Center.
Taylor Buck, Dave, for the Wildcats, 5'7" junior, has done a pretty good job up to this point handling that North fresh.
Well, after that tremendous block, Elpers has enough sense to be right around it and pick it up and get the layup.
Going back to the zone. They're kind of going back and forth just to give the Polars a little bit different look.
Demley, nice feed down low, went out of bounds, knocked out by Goodhue, much to the dismay of the Wildcat faithful. You can hear them there. It's a vocal crowd, and it's fun, and we've actually seen this kind of crowd pretty much in every game this year. It's really been fun to hang out here at the.
They're really packing in this zone.
Yeah, if you got time, that went off of Dembley's foot.
Yeah.
So if you have time on this Saturday, zip on over here. There's room for you. Watch a game or two, maybe. On your schedule.
You better get here before the Class 4 game with Lakeville North and Hopkins, because if you don't come early, you might not get a seat. It's going to be a nice crowd.
Look at that move by Buck, and then right back out. Kylo won't take the shot. He certainly had it over there if he wanted it on the baseline. Down to 2 minutes and a 2-point lead for Goodhue. That's Sam Kylo, or the Kylo. Johnson and Upsala. Going for the steal right there was Isaac Johnson.
Yeah, we can't forget this game was 15-2 for North. That initial thrust and energy that they brought, impressive. And you just kind of wondered, okay, is Wildcats going to be able to handle this? But they have done it. The game has kind of been North initially, and then the game started to slow down. I think the change to the zone defense for Goodhue kind of helped, and then they started to get a little bit of confidence on offense.
Look at Elpers. He can't make the layup, but to the other side, Ben Upsala follows the miss. And we are tied up. Look at the Goodhue fans. They're ballistic. Underneath. Can't get it to fall. Goodhue's got a chance to take the lead on the foul.
You know, this zone defense has been good because they're really trying to pack it in. And there's going to be some chances for Minneapolis North, Dave, to stick some outside jump shots if they start making the outside shots, which they really haven't done a ton of early on here. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this game unfolds. But nice job on the offensive glass. There's openings there, and Upsal snakes in there and able to convert on the offensive glass. But they're packing in this zone, and North has kind of slowed down because of this zone defense. But there's going to be some opportunities in all zone defenses. There's a lot of times weaknesses as far as crashing the glass and getting offensive rebounds because every player doesn't have one player to be responsible for, and North is going to get in there and start to do some work on the glass, I guarantee you.
That's the first lead for Goodhue after Kevin just mentioned down 15-2 to start the state championship game. One more time. Not going to go. Johnson made sure of that on a powerful rebound by Isaac. So now here comes Sanders. That is Tyler Johnson. Isaac Johnson passed down low. There's Jackson, and that shot won't go. And boy, it's one and done, Kevin. That's probably the most amazing thing. Goodhue blocking out North right now.
Well, that's one thing a zone defense can do. You kind of can put a fence around the basket a little bit. I think at some point North is going to get some opportunities on offensive rebounds. But right now they're just trying to figure out how to attack this packed-in 2-3.
Sam McNamara out on the outside. It's a good matchup there with Sanders and Buck, just kind of working the perimeter here in the state title game. We are down to the final 30. And if you're thinking they're working for a last-second shot, that's what Goodhue does pretty much every possession there. Just,
yeah.
They're in no rush.
That's a good point.
Travel. Wow. That's going to bring up a few boos wanting a foul there, but it's going to go back to North. They got 15. Now, North doesn't usually work a 15-second clock. They'll usually attack right away, but Kevin, I assume they'll wait for the last one here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One shot. Maybe one chance for an offensive rebound, but they're going to wait.
Odell Wilson, of course, had a very nice first half for North. Johnson on the outside. Won't go. The tip won't go. And Goodhue is going to go into the locker rooms with a 26-25 lead. I'm guessing nobody in this arena predicted that when they walked in today. What a start for the Wildcats.
Yeah, North came out strong immediately. Then the game halfway through this first half started to shift. It started to slow down, and a big part of that was, again, the defense by Goodhue and their execution on offense.
Allie is courtside with Matt Halverson of Goodhue.
Thanks, guys. Coach, at one point your team is down 15-2. Now you guys are right back in it. What changed?
Well, I think we shook the nerves out of us a little bit, and I think we were a little bit scared of the stage, but just told them at the timeout, you guys belong here. You know, you didn't get to the state championship just by chance, and we're settled in a little bit. We're taking better shots offensively, handling the pressure, and hopefully it continues the second half.
McNamara with a couple fouls, but you need him on the court. What's the plan? Yeah, we got to have him on the court. He's been one of our studs all year long, so, you know, the reason why we sit him a little bit is so that, you know, when he gets his third, we can keep him out in their second half. So he's got to come up big for us, and I'm sure he will. Coach, good luck in the second. Thank you. Back to you, Dave.
Well, there's a young guy, Matt Halverson, I think all of about 27 years old, tutored under the leadership of Tom Vicks down there, Rushford Peterson, who he played for and then helped assistant coach, and along with his buddy on the bench, Robbie Ebner. So they got a great education in the world of basketball. On the other side, you have Larry McKenzie, who's been to state tournaments a number of times and only lost one game in all of them. So you know he's going to be up with a strategy here at halftime. Boy, fun game to watch. It's a dandy. 26-25 Goodhue, Kevin. How about that?
Yeah, boy, North, all the athletes, the athleticism, the spectacular plays, and it's great. It's good to see Goodhue make a game of this. We got a lot of basketball left to play in this ball game, and I guarantee you Larry McKenzie's talking to his guys and saying, we got to respect this team, but we can beat this team if we come out ready to go in the second half. And then it's going to be an interesting second 18 minutes.
It's Championship Saturday on 45 TV.
Halftime is brought to you by Tria Orthopedic Center. For the athlete in all of us, there's Tria.
Halftime of the Class A championship game, unranked Goodhue leading #1 Minneapolis North 26-25. Halftime ceremony going on here. We'll have several over the course of Championship Saturday. This one honors officials. Of course, these games would not happen if not for the referees, umpires, officials of any sport, not just basketball. So some of the guys and gals who have given a lot of years to the MSHSL and the student athletes who play under it are being honored, including some of these. Here you see across all sports, it's not just about basketball. It's gymnastics, it's volleyball, it's wrestling, it's soccer, and it's all over the state as well. St. Cloud, Coon Rapids, Mankato, Rochester, Austin, even Mantorville. We do these ceremonies every year. It's great stuff for all these people who put so much time in. They're not doing it for the money, folks. They're doing it for the love of the sport. The Citation Award this year going to Minnesota girls gymnastics officials, and the Award of Excellence going to the St. Paul hockey officials. They're doing their jobs when you don't even know they're there. It is a tough calling to be an official, umpire, or referee, and we certainly thank all of them. Let's talk about this game real quick here. How did we get here? Goodhue up by 1, not at all what we thought.
Well, what was so interesting about the start of this game is you could see Goodhue came out, they were visibly nervous, they didn't know what to do. As soon as they realized that they could run the game at their pace, at their tempo, they got their confidence, everything changed.
And Trent, it's not like they're getting North out of their game. North has done what they intend to do, they just still find themselves down by 1.
You know, Chris, when you play against a team that want to slow the ball down, you have to become very patient on the defensive end. They're going to force you to contest pass after pass. You cannot afford to break down on defense. If you do, it's going to lead to easy baskets for the opposition.
This is Minneapolis North's first trip back to the state tournament at all, forget the state championship game, but at all since 2003. But they have been saying all along they want to restore the glory to this team, and they are a team packed with tradition that generations before will remember. Back in 1980, Trent, you remember the short shorts?
Yes, I do. Let's go back to that day.
They won the state championship beating St. Cloud Tech 60-53. And this is bringing the trophy back to the school. And that just started out the tradition that carried on through some of the other teams that we still talk about even today. The hat.
Look at the hat. I love the hats.
And suits.
Now we go to 96. This is the team a lot more people remember. They won a bunch of championships. Khalid El Amin, one of the most famous shots in state tournament history. A lot of people don't remember it happened in St. Paul. To win, that was just the semifinal. It's sort of like the Miracle on Ice. Everybody assumes that was the gold medal game. No, this was just for the semifinal. They went on to win the championship game later on. This, Leah, Trent, is one of the most storied teams in Minnesota basketball history.
Well, for someone who went to Minneapolis South, you always knew that any type of basketball excellence always went through Minneapolis North. And so they really set the standard back in the day, and now they're back doing it again.
And that, of course, you see was the Sweet 16 championship, the 2 years where they brought that Sweet 16 format through. And then the last team that we saw at state here at Target Center was 2003. It was their last state appearance and their most recent state championship. Trent, it doesn't seem that long ago, but things have changed so much at the school since 2003.
Yeah, things have changed a great deal since 2003. It's nice to see that the school is back and moving in the right direction. Now they have 18 minutes more to see if they can win one more state championship.
And address this real quick. We see those who are in 4A and Sweet 16s. A lot of people that don't follow high school basketball that closely might be looking today going, why is this team down in single A? They used to be still good at 4A. It is completely a product of school size.
No doubt about it. When you have about 250 or 300 kids is going to put you in a certain class, and most of the schools are designated based on enrollment and the size of the school.
And as the school grows, then they would then rise up through the divisions. That might happen if the school continues to grow at the rate that it's growing right now. The guys that are there put on a heck of a show. They're down by 1, but they did give us some fantastic highlights in the first half. But they're looking the wrong way on the scoreboard right now, trailing Goodhue by 1 at halftime in the Class A championship game. Goodhue leading Minneapolis North 26-25. Halftime continues here at the Class A championship game. Chris Long with Leah Olson and Trent Tucker. Leah, it's just such an amazing contrast of styles, these two teams. I hope it stays close all the way through. I want to see how this finishes.
I agree. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better first half to this championship game. Both teams look really good right now.
Has North seen a team like Goodhue? North has played some incredible teams, but Goodhue just plays. They had a possession today 2 minutes long.
And that's how they have to win this basketball game. If they can slow it down and keep their tempo, in the second half, it's really going to test the will and the patience of North on the defensive end.
North looked like they were going to run away with this game, Leah, but what does it tell us about Goodhue? That down 15-2, I believe it was early on, they didn't blink.
Well, and that's what I really liked about, because what we saw through Goodhue is that they were so confident and they were so fundamentally strong in their quarterfinal and semifinals game. When they came out a little shaky, I could tell they were intimidated. Then they realized we can play with these guys, and they have to do that in the second half.
Closed the half on a 24-10 run, Goodhue did. Let's see how he got there again. North getting out to a big lead. Odell Wilson dominant on the block, both ends, defensively and offensively.
He was good defensively, using that big body to carve out some space to get some backs on the inside for some tough hoops for North as he went to the glass strong.
And then, Trent, we know these guys can do this.
They have to get out and run. They're going to have to force turnovers. If they can get out and run, it's going to help their game, and it's going to give them a chance to put some points on the board in the second half to walk away with the championship.
We mentioned that North got out to that big 15-2 lead. That's what they've done in the state tournament. They got out to 13-2 leads in each of their first 2 games here at state. Those games, their opponents never reeled them in, but as you see, Goodhue has passed them and holds a 1-point lead. Let's take a look at how Goodhue did that. Jacob Hash, so strong from outside, Leah.
Yeah, and this is going to be critical in the second half, showing that they can hit the 3-ball, big shots outside. They're going to need those. And then the skill that they have, their fundamental passing, showing that they're team players. You're going to see that in the second half as well. You see it right here. This is after holding the ball for 2 minutes, wearing down that North Polar defense.
Taylor Buck, that point guard, 5'7", but standing tall, helping his team hold a 1-point lead at halftime of the state championship game. The halftime stats are brought to you by Tria Orthopedic Center. For the athlete in all of us, there's Tria. Trent, quick comment?
North has to continue to rebound the basketball strong.
All right, North, the #1 team, heavily favored, trailing unranked Goodhue by 1. The second half's coming up.
Welcome back with Coach McKenzie. Coach, early in the game, you guys had control, but Goodhue seemed to take that from you. How do you regain that control in the second?
Man, we just got to go back to playing the type of basketball we play. They did it. You know, this game is really about tempo. We started out playing our game, and then we kind of got a little bit comfortable, and then they were able to reverse the tempo and play more to their style. So we just, you know, we'll make the adjustment at halftime.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.
Allie, we talked about that before the game started, that whole tempo, Kevin. Yeah. I mean, one team averages 50 points a game, the other one averages 85, so something's got to give along the way. And right now, it's the slow tempo that's working.
Yeah, at least the second part of that first half. A couple things that are really jumping at me on the stat sheet here at halftime. North, 6 turnovers. Goodhue, only 5 turnovers, Dave. North had more turnovers than Goodhue. That's telling. North also 0 for 5 from downtown. I think if they're going to really get Goodhue out of this zone, they're going to have to make some threes.
That was the first shot that Posh has missed outside the arc, and then McNamara has quickly, Jacob has picked up his 3rd foul just 17 seconds into the start of half #2, and that's exactly what Matt Halverson was talking about at halftime before he went in the locker room with Allen.
Yeah, another stat from the sheet here, fast break points. Goodhue didn't have any fast break points. Minneapolis North only 6. So that's what Coach McKenzie is talking about. Tempo. They kept it slow enough where North was just not running every single possession.
I like the feed from the big guy to Isaac Johnson. Odell Wilson, the 4th. Really, Kevin, he's kind of been the guy here in the first half. Very steady for him. He's their leading scorer right now, and that a nice dish and assist for him.
North in the zone defense. That's a new wrinkle.
There's the pick, too. Dembley, there's the lead pass, Johnson. And they foul him before he can go up for the layup. That was Buck who wanted to stop that.
Intentional foul.
Yep.
Well, I think that's a strategy. I think Coach Halverson is going to try to employ in this game here is when it's possible, don't allow North to dunk and get excited from the spectacular plays, and Taylor Buck fouling on that play there, and Isaac Johnson at the line.
Yeah, Isaac's shooting free throws like he's out in a gym by himself and nobody else there. He's the only man standing down there right now.
That's always an interesting place to be, when, especially in an arena like this. You're on the free throw. No one else is on the line, on the lane, and you're on an island by yourself.
So in this case, not only you get the shots, but now you get the ball. And that gives North a 3-point edge to start the second half. Johnson quickly in, and his runner's up and in. So boy, did they 6 points in a heck of a hurry, Kevin.
Yeah, and they're going to try to really start to warm up offensively, getting the ball inside as much as possible. They had a ton of offensive rebounds in the first half. They just didn't convert on many of those offensive rebounds. And give credit to Goodhue, but North, they're eventually going to get some hoops in that fashion.
It's a game of catch right now between Upsall and McNamara. Good Posh involved. Upsall with that drive with that left-handed glass. Touch is nice.
Almost all of his hoops are going left. Those lefties love to go left.
No bucket there. Foul call beforehand. High School Activities Hub is everything high school activities, all in one place. Rankings, individual and team state champions and contests. Check out highschoolactivitieshub.com for everything high school activities. Now there's a timeout called as well, with North in a 31-28 lead right now as we start half number 2. The state tournament quarters. North beat St. Clair 80-27. The semis, they beat Red Lake yesterday 82-61. That might be one of the most fascinating games of the tournament so far. That Red Lake, the Warrior Nation was right. Not only enormous with the numbers that were here, but the enthusiasm. Even when their team was down by 20, it was really fun to watch their reactions when the kids made a hoop or made a play.
And how excited the players were and the fans were, even though they lost the game in the semis to Minneapolis North. And they were walking out of the building here like they had won the game.
Pat Demley will inbound the ball now. Looking underneath right away. Nobody there, so they'll kick it out to the top. That's Jamil Jackson Jr. and then off to Tyler Johnson, who will give it back to Demley, and then he'll start the offense for North. And quickly in, Jackson, ball knocked out of bounds off of the hands of the Wildcats of Goodhue. 0 for 5 on 3-pointers for North in that first half, 3 for 6 for Goodhue.
Well, you start making outside shots. If North starts to do that, that could pull Goodhue out of that zone pretty quickly.
Jackson has his 6th point.
This is a good sign for the Polars, Dave. Most of their action here in the start of the second half has kind of been in the half-court offense, inside the paint, and they're going to get some confidence from these plays. And then Goodhue, of course, turning it over.
Yeah, and the passing lane cut off, and then Buck right back at it. And now Taylor Buck, who's had a nice, strong effort out here today, will take it up against that fabulous defense. And there it is, another pick. This is Johnson. He should be going up and getting 2, but instead it falls off the front of the rim, and he'll keep following his shot. This time he draws the foul after 3 efforts. Frustration setting in on Isaac Johnson, who averages 12 a game. You could see it in his face after that last miss, but he won't go to the free throw line.
Well, what happened is he was rising up, and he was unsure of whether he was going to shoot a layup or try to dunk. He wanted to dunk it, but with that body there coming down the floor quickly by Goodhue, he was kind of indecisive, Dave, what he was going to do, and I think that's why the ball kind of slipped out of his hands, because he wasn't sure whether he's going to try to flush it home or lay it in.
Kelvin Peterson just picked up his 3rd foul. Isaac Johnson. Yep, got them both.
I have my father's words ringing in my ears. When in doubt, just lay it in. Don't worry about getting the dunk and get the 2 points. He's old school.
Wildcats. McNamara and Upsall will play a little catch out there, and then Buck will move in for this offense. A lot of picks up on top, too. There you see Peterson trying to set one, not getting in time. Johnson fast. Now he's coming out defensively.
I think this is a good coaching decision by Larry McKenzie. Play a little zone yourself and see how Goodhue handles this. Wow, that's a tough shot right there in traffic.
That was all brawn. That's a defensive end, tight end going up for a shot right there. That's exactly what he played on that football team that went to state.
Calvin Peterson and his good buddy, the weight room.
Still no three for North.
Peterson's a pretty intense young guy. He gets fired up. I noticed that yesterday.
Buck all alone, not going to get it. Demley right there. There's that down court pass to Johnson. Now no looker on the other side, and Isaac Johnson, the recipient of that assist.
Tell you what, I really like Tyler Johnson, and one of his best qualities as a basketball player is his unselfishness, because that affects everybody on this team. When your best player is unselfish, that just brings. Look at that. Not unselfish on that flush home.
9-point spread now. Peterson trying to set the pick. Some errant passing right now going on by Goodhue. And the foul on Isaac Johnson. That's only his second.
The second half is brought to you by PolyMet Mining, working to produce the copper, nickel, and other essential metals that make this broadcast possible.
Following this game, log on to minpostgame.com. That's MNPOST game.com to view the post-game press conference live, along with archived press conferences from the tournament. Buck into McNamara. He's got a little lane to the basket, and then from behind there's Jackson with the block. And North now getting back into their game. This high-paced energy. Demley, just a nice little soft roller off his fingertips. And for Pat, that's his first bucket of the game, his first field goal.
Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities. I thought he did a nice job kind of slowing down just one gear as he got into the lane, and that allowed him to shoot with touch.
Peterson drawing the foul. Let's take a look at Tyler's shots, Kevin.
Yeah, most of it's inside, and a lot of that's off of penetration or in transition. That's Minneapolis North's game. I think he's a good outside shooter, but I think he recognizes that, really their bread and butter offensively is right around that basket, getting into the lane, whether it's on the fast break or dribble penetration in the half court. And he's such an unselfish kid, so he'll take his shots in there, but he's out there to set up his teammates. Once again, when your best player is unselfish, that's huge for a team, because that just breeds more unselfishness with all the other players, and he does a nice job. He's had some nice passes here tonight, no-look passes, and he's a talented young kid.
Not many Goodhue left, but the few that are there are still watching the TV, I'm sure, down at the corner bar, the Dards bar. Watching your squad put on a nice, strong effort against the #1 team in the state, Minneapolis North. Look at them spread this out, Kevin. What are they up to?
Well, they're going to try to pull out Goodhue out of this zone that's been really, for the most part, pretty effective. Once they do that, then there's a lot more openings and spaces to attack for North. And again, these guys are such good athletes, they're going to be all over that.
North is on a 10-2 run. Demley will get the bucket and draw the foul.
Well, that's just an acrobatic, hanging in the air, taking the contact. You got a guy 6'3" like McNamara, 250 pounds, draped all over your left shoulder. Dembrey did a nice job, Dave, of kind of hanging, adjusting, and finishing.
That's 4.
Yeah. That's a big blow for Goodhue. They need him inside. Even if he's not a huge factor in scoring, he's just a presence that you got to keep track of.
Well, I don't know what North's, I haven't checked their halftime point totals, but I can't believe they had too many with only 25 points. But in this Class A championship game, they've come alive in the second half. Down by a point at halftime, not by 14. That's how quick they strike.
Yeah, and Goodhue's coaching decision to go to that zone defense in the first time, very effective. Same thing now with Minneapolis North. Going to the zone defense has led them to some good things.
Some errant passes by Goodhue, and that time the ball will just sail out of bounds. And they're going to give it to North. And so they'll inbound the ball underneath their bucket on this play. Refs looking to each other for a little help on that call. I like that too. I like that when somebody doesn't see it, they make sure that somebody did. Jackson will fake one way, the other way. Ball won't go. Rebound hauled down by the Wildcats. Throwing it off is Sam McNamara's had a big role in this game today. Elper's back in there. Sam Kylo. 14-point lead for the Polars here in the second half, and a whistle and a foul on the Polars. So Sanders will pick up the foul. Isaac Johnson will go out. Odell Wilson, the fourth, will come back in. We mentioned Odell having a real nice start to the game.
Yeah, he got a little more quiet at the end of that first half, I think, in part because of the zone defense. It clogs up the lane somewhat, and he had less room to get some things done. 1-3-1. Watch out, look how the zone turns into, looks like a 2-3 once the ball goes to the elbow or to the wing as it kind of shifts around. They're going to pack it in and see if Goodhue can make some three-point shots.
That's an open look for Elpers. High arching three-pointer for Ryan. He's got 5 in the game. Look at North come down. That's Wilson. Ball is popped loose. Johnson stayed back the whole time. Otherwise, that's why you're saying, why wasn't there a fast break? Tyler Johnson never went down court. So when they came down, they saw him standing there.
I think they're going to stay with the game plan of playing it slow, and that's a good example of it. He had a chance for maybe a 2-on-1 or at least a 1-on-1 opportunity, but nope, I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to work the clock. That's our one shot to win this game.
11-point lead for the Polars. Upshaw, kind of right on that corner of that free throw line, has positioned himself. That's where McNamara was before he went out with 4 fouls. That was kind of his spot. And I see Kylo on the other side of that.
Pretty impressive zone when you got these long, lean athletes that are playing the passing lanes. It's the zone defense, but they're still pressuring you.
There's a turnover, defense, and Demley on the pass can't hit it. On the rebound, Goodhue has it.
That looked like a lot of contact. No whistle though.
McNamara off to Elpers.
A lot of openings in that zone, Dave. They got to keep that player at the free throw line. There's an opportunity. Oh, look at this.
Look at this play by Johnson. And Demley there. And quickly down is Posh and hanging in the air. Posh's defense was enough to cause that ball to fall shy. Demley is a good shooter. Posh never gave up on it and didn't make any contact.
Kind of spun it with the left hand, too. That was an acrobatic play. And just
look at Johnson again. Another steal. Now Demley again. Elpers comes in. He throws it back. And again, North can't hit it. Ball is up for grabs. This time we'll have a foul. Odell Wilson, the fourth, will go to the free throw line.
I think a few of these missed layup attempts, Goodhue's doing a pretty good job, but North the North players are rushing their layups a little bit. They're in such a hurry to get down and get to the basket and make something happen and convert. And a lot of kids do that. They rush when they get close to the basket. They're up in the air, and it's not so easy always to finish, especially if there's a defender or two around you. And a lot of things to think about.
Big O is 10 points in the game from the free throw line. Odell is 2 of 2. But there's a certain quiet in the arena. No one really anticipated this at all. And this game's been a good one. On the rebounder, bodies down on the court, and Johnson puts a hand up to his eye. Hopefully he's just fine. Looks like he is. Here comes Goodhue with the ball now, down by 12. A three launched pretty quick, but a nice follow on the miss. Peterson, that's blocked, tips it back out. Alper's back to grab it. And Goodhue kicks it back out and runs that offense. McNamara back in. Peterson, the strong guy. Did he travel? Yeah.
I think he did.
Timeout in the court. You can see the bench reaction after they made this one.
Welcome back to the Target Center. In a great game, you know, sometimes we find and come across stories that are really about more than just the game of basketball. Earlier this year, Coach Halverson of Goodhue overheard a conversation about a kindergartner who had just moved into town and was dealing with some health issues. Hearing that little Jackson Morgan is a sports fanatic, Coach got his team together to send Jackson a picture, a signed jersey, basketball, and a shirt before a big surgery that he had. It's important to the Goodhue team to support the community and be there for future players. Jackson, if you're watching at home, stay strong, buddy.
Yeah, excellent. How about Matt Halverson, all of 27 years old, and you'd think been around the block a long time, the way he's not only handles things like that, but also handling this team coaching against one of the all-time greats in Larry McKenzie. And Larry's countering too. It's fun to watch these two guys strategize against one another. It's really been a kick. Ball will not drop, and on the scramble for the board, there's a foul. Now keep in mind, Jacob McNamara, number 55 of Goodhue, right there is working with 4 fouls, and he's crucial to them. And then Calvin Peterson, his buddy down low, that provides a lot of the muscle. He's got 3 right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important that McNamara stays in this ball game. Like you said, if he gets one more, he's out of this game. And he just needs to be careful under there as he's throwing his weight around, because we talk about an important cog to this team. He is one of the most important ones.
This is how good Minneapolis North is, though. 12 points, and it's a close game. You know, I mean, that's the way it's been for this team. And it has been a fun game for the fans here. There's a block on the screen, and the foul will be on Minneapolis North. Taylor Johnson will pick up the foul, his first.
Well, I would imagine one thing that Coach McKenzie kind of talked about to his guys at halftime is, okay, this team wants to slow it down. Let's beat them playing their game, and that's kind of what they've done with this zone defense. Is we're going to prove to you that we can win this ball game and win a state championship. And playing zone and slowing it down a bit.
Underneath, a quick series of passes. McNamara is there. But give credit to Ryan Alpers, who got it down doing a heck of a hurry. North now. They're an opening of the lane, a parting of the purple sea, as it were. And Jaquan Sanders recognizing it. For Jaquan, that's his first bucket of the game.
That's a major breakdown. There was nobody close to him.
Underneath again. How about that? McNamara got 6. Back to 10 now in the game.
You know what's interesting about this game, Dave? Up to this point, the first 2 days of the tournament here in the semis, and as far as Thursday and today, we've hardly seen much zone defense. It's been almost all man-to-man, and then this game, it's turning into a zone defense affair just because of the matchup.
Taylor Johnson just got his first bucket. Yeah. That is intriguing. We've got 6:34 now, and again McNamara, same play 3 times in a row almost. Well, 2 consecutive from there, and then 1 down on the baseline to McNamara, but he did draw the foul on that one.
We got to show this play again, because they've run this now the last couple possessions where there's a screen on one of the inside players for North. His buddy right there, number 11, Posh, is setting a screen, and McNamara is kind of wheeling around this. I've seen this play before, and it's really effective against a stationary zone defense. And that, when the big fella McNamara kind of came around that screen, he's wide open. It's a nice play, good execution.
Now you got 3 personal fouls on Jackson and on Sanders right now for North, just in case you're keeping track of those. North quickly down. This is their game. Won't go, and then off the hands of the Wildcats. We're going to take a break right here. Timeout, 49-38. North at the lead. This is for the state championship. Let's check out our game summary here, Kevin. It's brought to you by McDonald's all-day breakfast.
Well, that shooting percentage has gone up for Minneapolis North, up to 53% here in the second half. That's a good sign for them. 9 second chance points for Goodhue. That's a surprise for me. I didn't think there'd be a whole lot of offensive rebounding opportunities or second chance points for Goodhue, but they've done a nice job. They're hanging around this game and remaining within striking distance. That's huge.
Demley, well, he can hang in the air beautifully. Pat's got his 7th point of the day.
So many weapons to go to that you got to worry about when you're playing defense against Minneapolis North, and sometimes you can forget about a player like Patrick Demley. He just lane opened up and he just hit it.
McNamara doing what he did yesterday in the first half. You know what's interesting, Kevin, too, now North averages over 85 a game. Goodhue averages about 50 a game. Demley again, little hang time for Pat.
In that situation, he just hit the opening day. There wasn't a whole lot of space on that shot, but acrobatic once again.
So the Minneapolis North played Rushford Peterson earlier this year. They only scored 61 against Rushford Peterson. I bring that up because the head coach at Goodhue played at Rushford Peterson, assisted with Tom Vicks, the legendary coach down there. So I wonder if they had a little conversation on what they could do against North, because North won the game at 61-45, which is traditionally way below the pace North plays. And then Rushford Peterson, I believe, beat Goodhue earlier this year. They played against each other by a point, 44-43.
I guarantee you, Coach Halverson watched that game on a DVD to get an idea of what Rushford Peterson was doing that allowed that game to be fairly close.
Nice cross-court pass to Jamil Jackson Jr. Triple J has another stuff, his second of the game. 55-40 now, opening up the biggest lead of the game, at least since the beginning of the game. Good steal. Boy, Tyler Johnson's so quick. And on the other side, the shot is going to count. And Isaac Johnson's going to go to the line to shoot an extra shot here as a result of that foul.
Well, once again, defense leading to offense, and look who's making that pass yet again. Tyler Johnson. Demley getting to the basket. Jackson Jr. finishing with 2 hands. That guy can get up quick. A lot of his action is at the rim. I'm starting to be curious about his jump shot. You know, he's 6'6". He's going to be a high-level Division I player, Dave. He's going to have to. He's not ever going to be a huge, strong guy, but he's got a good frame on him. But I want to see his jump shot. Can he shoot a little bit? We haven't seen much of that. If he can, if he can face up and be a 3-man at the next level, sky's the limit for this kid, because he's just a flat-out athlete. But if not, you know, he's going to be more of an interior player for a kid his size.
That shot is off the money now. That's a quick shot for Goodhue. But they're down all of a sudden by 17 after leading at halftime, 26-25. So that's the North defense, only giving up 15 points so far in the second half. Demley, man, he has just gone all of a sudden on fire. He didn't score in the first half. All of a sudden, he's got 11 points.
Yeah, he's brought the A game, and we weren't really sure if he was completely healthy coming into this ball game. Here we go.
And Demley, guess who? And Johnson. And again, the nice lead pass to Isaac Johnson. This is what they do.
Yeah, and once they get going, North, it's kind of tough to stop them. You got to try to, once again, try to slow down the pace, get back into your rhythm. I mean, this is a tough spot to be in if you're Goodhue.
That's an over-the-back call that'll be coming, so it'll be a foul on Minneapolis North on the Polars. coming into this game at 28-5. The Wildcats at 24-9.
3:41 to go in this ball game, down 21. That's a tall order to get back into this game, but Wildcats don't have a choice. They got to keep playing hard, which they're going to. That's the thing about you look at some of these North guys, and whether it's Isaac Johnson or Jackson Jr. Yeah, that's a great moment right there with Coach McKenzie. These players that are 6'4", 6'6", 6'7", if they can handle the ball and shoot a little bit on the outside, and on top of that being credible athletes, then they got a chance to really do something at a high level in college basketball. But if they can't handle the ball and shoot, that changes things big time for them.
Demley again all the way down, hangs in the air, and boy, that has been his signature move in half number 2, and it's been quite successful. Goodhue all of a sudden down by 23 points after leading at halftime. Cross court, Posh. Good rebound by Upsall. He's a nice looking basketball player.
Boy, Pat Demley, how well has he played here late in this ball game?
He's been dynamite.
Yeah, he's brought the A game, no question.
And again, the no looker over to Odell Wilson, the 4th, and he will be fouled on the way in. It was Wilson who really was kind of their guy in the first half. And now they've been sharing the basketball in the second half, but Demley has been a spark plug, but really a balanced attack for the most part.
And you talk about good big guys that have played for North throughout the decades. I mean, you're talking about guys like, James Davis, who played in that 2003 team, and Dan Bannister back in the 80s. Red Overton was a good big guy. Ben Coleman. So they've had some studs go through that program. It's not just guards or wing players for Minneapolis North. You've had a number of good big guys that have gone and played for the Polars, and have played. Ben Coleman played in the NBA for a number of years, so he had a good career.
63-42 is our score. There's Isaac Johnson, and then there's the reaction from coach and student. Today's plays of the game brought to you by Catholic United Financial, life insurance, annuities, and retirement products. We had to pluralize this today, Kevin.
Well, just spectacular dunks. Obviously, Tyler Johnson had a few, especially jumping over Tyler Buck on that alley-oop. Jackson Jr. getting his share. Isaac Johnson getting involved as well. They can come at you a lot of different ways, but if they're going to play their game and win games, it's going to be running and dunking.
Trying to go up and over with the dunk that time was Tyler Johnson. Draws a foul as he tried to leap over McNamara. And that'll be it for Jacob McNamara.
That was a situation where Johnson he wasn't looking to pass on that dart to the basket. And yeah, the big fella McNamara, Dave.
You and I don't vote for all tournament team, but I think that's one selection that I would guess we're going to see on that squad. He's a gamer.
Yeah, he played well. He's coming back next year, just a junior, 6'3", 250. I think he knows his way around the football field as well, and he's a big, strong kid and put forth a good effort there. No reason to hold his head down. Boy, a run all the way to the state title game. That's a great season for Goodhue.
Well, and they didn't come. That first half was marvelous to watch. Good strategy back and forth. There he goes, the senior, off of the court, maybe for the last time, because he's going to pursue that football at the University of Minnesota under Coach Clays.
I know he was a quarterback at North, but I'll be curious to see. I don't think their plans are to keep him at that position. I'll be curious to see what they, like a wide receiver. Man, think of him, Dave, as a split end. Holy buckets.
Well, If I'm Richard Pitino, I go to Tracy and say, you know, when the season's done, what are the chances I could get him on my team for a few weeks? I think I know the answer, but I would make the request.
He'll start putting on some weight, and then basketball will get a little more difficult. Right now, he's so lean and athletic. I mean, no question, he could play basketball in college at the Division I level someplace. But I'll be curious to see how much of a stud he turns into in football, because he's got a chance to be very good.
Pat Demley from the free throw line, 1 of 2 tonight. Isaac. There's Jamil Jackson Jr. That's a kid that, if I'm in college watching this game, man, you got to talk to him. He has got some tools, but who doesn't? Look at this. Who doesn't on that team?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. I know South Dakota State, from what I've heard, has been interested a little bit in Jackson Jr.
Hampton, I think, has chatted with him. Nebraska, Omaha, I know, has chatted with him. I don't know who else. But
I tell you what, Scott Nagy, the head coach at South Dakota State, is a really good college basketball coach. And if he would get a chance to go out there and play for a Scott Nagy, I would jump at that in 2 seconds.
There's a young man who's had a great second half. He's been their spark, Pat Demley, and now he will go out and be replaced by Elamine. Nasser El-Amin comes in the game. Jameer Jackson has entered the game. Sanders is back in there. Marcus Holloman is in for North. And bringing the ball up right now is Nick Tomford of Goodhue. Also in the ball game, I can see Aaron Austin has entered the game. We'll taking a peek here as we play right over on that far side. The three-pointer on the way.
Hey. Where's this guy been hiding? The lefty. Dialing long distance.
Wow. Wilson Jonas makes a statement with that shot. Here comes North now. Underneath that ball will hop out of bounds. It'll go back to Goodhue in the final minute and 27 seconds. What a good run for Goodhue. I know they're disappointed, but they had the whole arena talking about them, in particular at halftime, the way they played this North as well as anybody's played them defensively, I think, the entire year.
Yeah, we talk about how they weren't ranked coming into the state tournament, but in their conference, the Hiawatha Valley, the blue section of that conference, they were tied for first, 11-5. So this is a team that's experienced a lot of success this year.
El-Amin will dish it, and the three-pointer from the other side won't go. All the players on the bench wanted that to go off of the hands of Eli Campbell. Here's a rebound and the pass in the middle to Jameer Jackson. His teammates standing on the side, cheering him on. 52 seconds now, 68-45 North.
That was a nice pass there by Marquise Holloman into his teammate inside. A little bounce pass, threading the needle.
Well, why not try again, by golly, for Wilson Jonas? That time a little bit shy. El-Amin brings the ball up. He's got Holloman over him. There's his teammate over there. Let's see, with 25 seconds. If Holloman comes out, El-Amin.
Well, North
or Tomford guarding him.
North really came out here in the second half and kind of methodically just pulled away from Goodhue, and good performance by the Polars here to win this state title.
The clock runs down, 2-1. It's over. Minneapolis North returns to this state basketball tournament for the first time since '03, and they're going home with another state championship. Coach McKenzie.
I tell you what, Coach Larry McKenzie was at Holy Angels coaching for a handful of seasons. That opportunity at Minneapolis North, the boys basketball school decided to stay open. That job opened up, and he has done a terrific job really pulling together this program.
Their trophy case for those bow ties. Put them in there, too.
Yeah.
Your state championship bow ties. Our player of the game brought to you by Education Minnesota, the voice for professional educators and students. And that was Well, there you go. Look at the emotions out here. From one to the other.
There's been some great coaches at North through the years. Tony Queen has been one. Robin Ingram. Brett McNeil, the former fantastic player there for Mr. Basketball 1985 for Minneapolis North. He was coaching the team, I believe, in 2003, and now Larry McKenzie. So not just the players that have talent, the coaching there has been terrific.
Next game's supposed to start at 1, so that means we've got about 12 minutes. I don't think we're going to be on time. Let's go down to the great Jim Burns and the awards presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we will present the 10-member Wells Fargo All-Tournament team chosen by the sports writers and sportscasters covering the tournament. These students have distinguished themselves by their athletic excellence, leadership, team commitment, and exceptional sportsmanship. Presenting the trophies for the Wells Fargo All-Tournament Team Award at center court is A.J. Osterman, Vice President and Business Acquisition Manager from Wells Fargo. He'll be assisted by Dave Stead, the Executive Director of the Minnesota High School League. And now, the 2016 Class A Boys Basketball All-Tournament Team. From Red Lake High School, guard Will Morrison. Also from Red Lake High School, guard Rob McLean. From Central Minnesota Christian, forward Ethan Brower. From Central Minnesota Christian, guard Taylor Slagter. From Goodhue, guard Ben Upsall. Also from Goodhue, center Jacob McNamara. And from Goodhue, guard Jacob Pash. From Minneapolis North Community High School, guard Tyler Johnson. From Minneapolis North Community High School, forward Jameel Jackson Jr. And from Minneapolis North Community High School, center Odell Wilson IV. Wells Fargo and the Minnesota State High School League congratulate all members of the 2016 Class A Boys Basketball All-Tournament Team. Fans in action earlier today at Concordia University. It was Central Minnesota Christian defeating Red Lake 79-45. The fourth place trophy was presented to Red Lake, and Central Minnesota Christian was awarded bronze medals and the third place trophy. Congratulations to both Red Lake and Central Minnesota Christian. Fans, the awards ceremony will be conducted by representatives of the Minnesota State High School League Board of Directors, including Paul McDonald of Ely and Emmett Keenan of St. Cloud Central. They are assisted by Kevin Merkel, the tournament director. Silver medals and the Class A second place trophy will be awarded to Goodhue High School. The silver medals will now be presented to each member of the team and coaches. Would each player and coach please walk forward to receive your medal as your name is called. Number 1, Lucas Tomford. Number 3, Taylor Buck.
Taylor, congratulations. Yeah, thank you.
Number 5, Nicholas Tomford.
Congratulations.
Number 11, Jacob Pash.
Nice job.
13, Cooper Davidson. 15, Derek Alpers. Number 21, Ryan Alpers. Number 23, Wilson Jonas. Number 25, Justin Lind. Number 31, Mitchell Shrimp. Number 33, Ben Upsall. Number 35, Sam McNamara. Number 41, Julio Parra. Number 43, Sam Kylo. Number 45, Kelvin Peterson. Number 51, Mitchell Hemingway. Number 53, Aaron Austin. And number 55, Jacob McNamara. Student manager, Heather Lingbeck. Student manager, Michaela Thompson. Assistant coach, Mark Upsall. Assistant coach, Robbie Ebner. And head coach, Matt Halverson. And now will the captains of the Goodhue Wildcats please come forward to receive the Class A second place trophy. Goodhue finishing the season with an outstanding record of 24-10 and runner-up in Class A. The 2016 Minnesota State High School Class A Boys Basketball Champion is Minneapolis North Community High School. Each member of the squad receives a gold medal. And now, let's meet the Polars. Number 4, Jaquan Sanders Smith.
Good job.
Number 5, Marquise Holloman.
Good job. Congratulations. Thank you.
Number 10, Tyler Johnson. Number 11, Nasir El Amin. Number 12, Jameel Jackson Jr.
Good job, man. Thank you.
Number 13, Pat Dembley.
Good job, Patrick. Way to go. Good watching.
Number 15, Taylor Johnson. Number 20, Marshawn Downey. Number 21, Eli Campbell. Number 32, Odell Wilson, the fourth.
Good job, big fella. Way to kill him.
Number 34, Jameer Jackson.
Congratulations.
And number 35, Isaac Johnson. Student manager Trey Holloman. Assistant coaches George Ellis.
Good job, George. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Assistant coach Trent Witz.
Nice job, Trent.
And head coach Larry McKenzie.
Congratulations.
And now will the captains of Minneapolis North Community High School, the 2016 Minnesota State High School Class A Championship Boys Basketball Team, please come forward to receive your championship trophy. Congratulations to all teams. Please join the Minnesota State High School League and Wells Fargo in congratulating these athletes and their schools for their outstanding participation in this year's State Boys Basketball Tournament. That award ceremony is now concluded. Thank you.
For the 6th time in school history, Minneapolis North are champions. First time since 2003. They will take home the trophy. And Trent, you could speak as well as anybody to the emotion. Everybody gets emotion when they win a state championship, but I'm seeing people off the court that don't have anything to do directly with this basketball team getting choked up about this.
Well, this is a special moment for this high school, and about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, this school was about to close, but under great leadership, this school now has resurged back to the top academically and athletically. And today, you see all the things that have come together. You know, the head coach and Larry McKenzie brought these kids together and gave them a sense of hope and belief that they could be here one day. Bringing in someone like Leo Lewis to solidify the athletic department. And time again, I talk about the leadership at the top, and it starts with the principal, Dr. Sean Harris-Berry. She has been tremendous for North High School as well.
On the court, Leah, Goodhue, a terrific effort. They led by 1 at halftime, but North really stretched out in the second half. They outscored them 45-19 in that second half.
Yeah, it was almost like Goodhue had hoped that there wasn't a halftime because they had such a good momentum going in that first half. Then they had to readjust in the second half and never could get things going. North made some really big adjustments in the second half, and Goodhue turned the ball over 19 times. They only had one player in double figures. They needed it to be a perfect game for them.
Trent, North, there were a lot of they played some big schools. They saw some adversity in those games, but they haven't had adversity through the course of the postseason. They showed us a lot by coming out of halftime, firing on every single cylinder.
Well, in the second half, it was about patience for them on the defensive end. They hadn't faced a team that controlled the tempo against them like Goodhue did in the first half.
Allie standing by with the champions.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Coach, 13 years it took this school to get another state title. It brought you a lot of emotions. What was it about this team to be able to get that?
Well, it's also been 13 years since I've been back. And, you know, the emotion is, I think it was April 2013, I walked into a classroom full of guys that said they wanted to play basketball. I told them I was there to win a championship. And so just the climax of that, you know, this has been a special ride. I asked a lot of these guys, they sacrifice a lot. And so to get there and get this done, I'm just happy for the community. We needed this. What do you say about this guy here to your right? I can't say enough. I mean, he just, you know, been a special guy. He sacrificed so much, you know, and Tyler's just been real special. More than his production on the basketball court, it's just a role model that he's been for the kids. You know, kids in the community, kids in the school building, for the guys on this team. So appreciate everything that he's gave us.
Congrats, Coach. We turn over to Mr. Dunk City and Tyler Johnson. This was a roller coaster of a game at a few different points. How did you guys pull out this win?
You know, at halftime we made a few adjustments. we went into the locker room and we talked about what we need to do in the second half. So we had a game similar to this earlier this year at our house, so we knew how to react to it.
Headed to the U of M to play football. This is probably your last basketball game of your career. What does it mean to end that on a state championship?
It means a lot. I was just talking to Jamil and Pat about it. This was our last game, and this is my last game ever playing basketball, most likely. And, basically, we just went out here and just had fun, gave the crowd what they wanted to see, what they paid for, and everybody that watched, I know they enjoyed watching us.
What do you want to say about Coach McKenzie?
I thank him a lot. He came and basically he helped me turn this school around. He brought basketball back to the city, and North has a lot of basketball traditions, and me and everybody else on this team will be known as that.
Tyler, go celebrate that win.
Thank you.
Congrats, you guys. Chris, we're going to send it back to you.
Tyler Johnson is right. 1980, 1995, 96, 97, 2003, and now 2016. They have restored the pride. Win or lose, they would have restored the pride to Minneapolis North Community High School. But I'll tell you, as many tears as you're ever going to see on the sidelines of this game, players, administrators, even some of the people that cover the team, proud of these guys for bringing home the championship. And Goodhue, what a great showing for them. Leading at halftime, they came in unranked and put on one heck of a show. Congratulations to the Minneapolis North Polars, champions of Class A for 2016, the first of our 4 championship games here on 45 TV. We will set the table for the AA championship, Jackson County Central and Bram. They're warming up, they're ready to go. We'll see you shortly.
The postgame show is brought to you by the Coalition for a Secure Energy Future. Power you can depend on. Learn more at secureenergyfuture.org.
Minneapolis North with a huge second half to pull away from Goodhue to claim the Class A state championship. Rejoined by Leah B. Olson and Trent Tucker here, courtside at Target Center. Leah, your thoughts on that game?
Well, I just thought Goodhue gave everything that they had, and they just ran out of gas in the second half, but they have to be so proud of the season, the way they played this game. I mean, what a great unrated team they came in and gave them a run for their money.
Trent, Pat Demley, Jamil Jackson Jr., and Tyler Johnson, all seniors. They went out with a bang.
No doubt about it. They played a great second half. They were able to get themselves together, especially on the defensive end. And then they took care of the basketball to put this game away.
Yeah, they shot 60% in the second half. Minneapolis North did, as they pulled away, outscoring them 45-19 in the second half for the victory. The AA game's coming up, but before we leave this one, we want to show you the highlights that we had. There's Tyler Johnson up top. Trent, it's a lot of fun to watch these guys do what they do.
Well, no doubt about it. They like to be above the rim. They can get out and run, and they're very, very good in transition.
You see Jamil Jackson there with one. This is what they do. Leah, it's tough to stop.
Well, it's such an exciting brand of basketball. We just got everyone in this entire gym going crazy, so it's really fun.
Final stats brought to you by Tria Orthopedic Center for the athlete in all of us. There is Tria, as I said, Minneapolis North shooting 60% in that second half, and as Trent said, they went on an absolute lockdown on defense, taking Goodhue out of the game there late, winning in the end by a final score of 68-45. Minneapolis North, champions of Class A. They win it again, the 6th state title in team history. It was their first trip back to state since 2003, their first title since 2003. I mentioned it coming up, the AA championship, Jackson County Central and Bram, that's on deck. Of course, we have 2 more games after that, but we'll set you up for Bram and JCC coming up after this short break.